Spanish police have rejected an offer of support from Lancashire police as the hunt for the missing British teenager Jay Slater in Tenerife continues. Lancashire police said that it made an offer of support to the Garda Civil to see if they needed any additional resources in their efforts. The 19-year-old apprentice bricklayer was last heard from between 8 AM and 9 AM on Monday morning when he contacted a friend. Lancashire police then released a statement saying that whilst this case falls outside the jurisdiction of UK policing, we have made an offer of support to the Garda Civil to see if they need any additional resources. They have confirmed that at this time they're satisfied that they have the resources that they need, but that offer remains open and they will contact us should that position change. Slater was last seen in the northwestern mountain village of Masca. He disappeared after he'd left the holiday cottage of some men that he'd gone back with after attending the NRG Music Festival in the south of the island. The teenager had been attempting to walk back to his accommodation after missing a bus, and this was accompanied by a witness who stated that she actually saw Jay Slater as she was going back to her apartment when he had asked her if he knew when the next bus was arriving. She said that because she didn't know much English, she just signalled to him that it would be 10 AM. And the next time that she saw Jay was when she was actually travelling back into town. And this was roughly about 25 minutes later when she said that she would see him walking along the side of the road. But the teenager had been attempting to walk back to his accommodation after missing a bus. The walk from Slater's last known location to his accommodation would have taken about 11 hours. On Friday, police, firefighters, search and rescue personnel combed a vast area around the village of Masca. Emergency workers met in various locations throughout the day, combing bushes, overgrown terrain, hillside and rivers, but failed to find the missing teenager. On the 5th day of the search for Slater, search teams paid close attention to a river called Barranco Madre del Agua at the bottom of a ravine, where personnel carefully searched through fallen dead trees. They later moved on to other areas, focusing much of their resources in an area near rural Del Tino Park. Search and rescue looked through dead palm trees covering a river at the bottom of the hillside near to the Airbnb property he had reportedly been driven to. The property owner, Ophelia Hernandez, told reporters that she saw Slater walking up the road past her property but did not see him again after that, describing the situation as worrying. On Friday, a post on the Facebook page called Jay Slater Missing by the group's administrator, Rachel Hagen, said that Slater's family and friends were drained beyond words. Lucy Law, who attended the NRG Music Festival with Slater, said that he'd called her at about 8:30 AM on Monday and told her that he was lost in the mountains, he wasn't aware of his surroundings, desperately needed a drink, and his phone was on 1%. Slater's mother, Debbie Duncan, who flew to Tenerife on Tuesday, said that searching for her son was an absolute living nightmare. A fundraiser set up by Lucy Law to get Jay Slater home has received more than 24,900 in donations. Lucy Law has also called for British police to assist with the investigation and has been very critical of local efforts. A Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office spokesperson said, "We are supporting the family of a British man who has been reported missing in Spain and are in contact with local authorities." Now, a potential theory in what could have happened here with Jay Slater. It's known that Jay Slater attended the NRG Music Festival, and at some point he went back to two individuals' apartment that he didn't really know. Now, one thing that could have been happening here, he could have been at a festival and he could have been drinking as well as taking substances. And after the festival could have gone back to the two individuals that he just met for somewhat of a bit of an afters, or a place where they could continue to take substances / drink for a bit. And while Jay was there, time simply got away from him, and which is the reason in why Jay then missed his bus, because we know that Jay was seen by a witness. So Jay could have left the apartment of the people that he just met, gone to the local bus stop, missed his bus, and then found out from someone that we know was a witness that his next bus would be at 10 AM. Rather than waiting and sleeping there all night under the influence or substances, Jay has then decided to make the 11-hour walk back to his apartment. What's confusing here is that Jay simply didn't just turn back around and go to the individuals that he just met, because the next bus would be at roughly around 10 AM in the morning, and that other than taking an 11-hour walk, Jay would have no other way of getting back to his accommodation. But the witness, who also told Jay that the bus was going to be leaving at 10 AM the next morning, did then see Jay walking alongside the road towards the town in which he was heading towards. Problematically here, if he'd been taking substances, this could explain why Jay had messaged messaged someone to say that he was lost in the mountains, unaware of his surroundings, and that he was in desperate need of a drink. Now, if he was in desperate need of a drink, this would mean that Jay was dehydrated. And if Jay was dehydrated and lost in the mountains, this alone, combined with the walk after the fact that he's been at a festival all day, dependent on what he's been drinking, if he had been taking any substances, with these things combined, Jay could have simply suffered and passed out or died from dehydration alone. But the search for the teen is now entering its 6th day with no sign of Jay whatsoever. One of the reasons why Lucy Law herself was critical of the local efforts is because Lucy Law had to go above and beyond to find the last 2 individuals that Jay Slater was with. She extensively combed through pictures, Facebook, and managed to actually find the 2 individuals herself. And it was Lucy Law that actually went straight to the apartment of these individuals to question her herself. It was her who then gave the names of these individuals over to local authorities. Spanish authorities then questioned these 2 individuals and simply just let them go. And it's believed that these 2 individuals have since flown back to the UK from Tenerife. But as you can imagine, some theories and interesting things have been put online. And in part 2 of the Jay Slater missing case, we'll talk about some of these alleged theories that have been posted online. From my understanding, 2 theories have been posted. One of these theories has somewhat caught my attention, and that's because 2 individuals that I know went missing in Spain, and this was all the way back in 2019, and it's believed that they did go missing because of a dispute with money regarding substances. Now, these 2 individuals were a father and son, the son only being the age of 18, meaning that while they were over there in this dispute, the individual that was described as a Moroccan kidnapper that's been known for murder on that island is reported to have been the last person these 2 individuals saw. Since that time, they have never been located. Their phones were switched off, their cars were found in a certain location, and the bodies of the 2 have never been found. Spanish authorities were no help in this case whatsoever because of rumours that this Moroccan gang was somewhat in control of money and power on the island and would simply pay the Spanish authorities to turn a blind eye. Fast forward 5 years later, and a theory online appears that has some interesting similarities between the 2. But we'll get into that alleged theory in part 2. Let me know some of your thoughts in the comment section down below, but my thoughts are with the friends and family of Jay Slater, and I do hope that Jay Slater can be brought home. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you in part 2.